Hello everyone. I am in my recovery image. I'm going to show you how to load a custom ROM. You have to have root access to load a custom ROM. I'll put a link in the description on how to show you to another website and videos of how to load a custom ROM. There's plenty of people that have done videos on it. I don't need to do another one. So usually I run, there's two main recovery image people are developers. There's one that does Clockwork Mod recovery, and I'm running their latest version 2.5.0.1, and there is also Amun-Ra, which I personally like Amun-Ra's recovery image better, but I've wanted to test out Clockwork's new recovery image. So what we have going on here is the first one is Reboot System Now. Second one is Pointless, which is Apply SD Card Update.zip, which basically means you would download your custom ROM and you would rename it to Update and put it on your SD card and click that, which is pretty pointless because you can just go straight to Install Zip from SD. Anyways, you have your wipe data factory reset right on your main directory here, and then you have wipe cache partition, and then you have install zip from SD card, an Android backup, which is pretty neat. Which Amun-Ra has an Android and BART and Switch ROM if you want to run it in the console. Which this I have not seen a console, which is another downfall. You can your partition menu and your advanced menu. So let's just go through some of the menus, starting with install zip from SD. Very first choice is the update.zip. Choose zip from SD card, toggle signature verification, and script asserts. So what you won't use the first or last two on this. You're just going to use choose zip from SD card. And then anywhere that you put the ROM, you can go and find it. On Amun-Ra, you have to have it on the root of your SD card because it's only going to show the zip folders that are on the root of your SD card, not in any file or folder. So, alright, so you got an Android backup. You click on that and then it sends you to backup restore or advanced restore. Then you got your partition menu, which has a bunch of different stuff: mounting parts of your SD card, formatting parts of your SD card and system, and then a very weird place for mount USB storage. That's so you can connect to your computer. Just in case you get stuck in your recovery, you can always connect to your computer via USB and put a ROM on there and that you know works, and you can go ahead and work on it and get it loaded up. So if you ever get in trouble, that's very important to have in your recovery image. Your advanced menu, hardly ever go into this one. Just some different stuff. Alright, so let's go ahead and wipe data factory reset. Click yes. Oops, I clicked no. Click wipe cache. I'm having trouble here. Alright, wipe and click yes, and now it's going to wipe it all out, doing the data, the cache, SDXD, SD card. It's not going to wipe the SD card, so don't worry. Just the files from the previous ROM. You can wipe cache again, but it was wiped right there, as you can see. You can go wipe the SDXT, but it was already wiped. So what we're going to do is we're just go straight into the ROM. Choose zip from SD card. Find your ROM. Mine is Super CSDI for the very first ROM review I'm going to do. I will pause after I install this ROM and show you that it's booting up. I'm going to pause the video, and then there will be a separate video reviewing and going over the ROM Super CSDI. So first, you have Super CSDI. Sometimes you might have to flash the G apps, the Google apps like the Market and stuff like that, after you flash a ROM. But on this one, the G apps are built in. There's also an add-on that you can flash. It's the multi-touch. So you get multi-touch in the browser and the gallery, and then also the overclock kernel, which will give you some more speed. And I'll talk more about that later. And I'll find out the downloads for all of these and put them in the description. So let's just go ahead and load up Super CSDI. This will take a few minutes. There is problems with this ROM, no doubt. There's lots of forced closes. I have it running on my MyTouch and it just shut off automatically. So there is some troubles with this ROM, but the troubles are worth it for the amount of speed you get out of this ROM. It's unreal how fast it is. To this day I haven't found a faster ROM. I found some cool ones, some 2.1 and 2.2 ROMs that are just really, really neat and fun just to play around with for a day. But I always end up coming back to Super CSDI and trying that out. So, alright, so it says install from SD card complete. So all we gotta do is press back and then reboot system. So that's the end of this video, and make sure you watch for the next video on the review of this ROM. Thank you. Bye-bye.